Hey everyone, I am starting the new campaign for 12 Weeks to Change, and the reason I do these things is to keep me motivated to initiate and sustain a lifestyle change, but it's also to help my patients get through that difficult startup. When doctors tell you to lose weight, I mean, it's kind of motivating. I mean, usually you look in the mirror every morning or you get on the scale and you tell yourself to lose weight. When a doctor tells you or threatens you that another pill is coming your way, that might be enough to initiate. As far as whether threat like that is sustainable, usually not, because the priorities of the day usually push down restrictive dieting, they push down getting to the gym, they push down getting to sleep early, and then before you know it, you've gained more weight and you're going to the doctor's office and he's now finding another problem. Cholesterol's higher, sugar's higher, your weight's bigger, or your waistline's bigger and your weight is higher. So unfortunately, that's where most of my 50 to 60-year-olds come in. And it is disempowering to not have any other options, but I give options. I think that if my patients can lose 10 pounds in a couple of weeks, that's initiating change. I mean, something sparked to begin a change. If nothing sparked, then that's what this is for. So whether you come with me or not, I pick a big summit at the end of 3 months, 12 weeks, to possibly go to. And check out the last one. We ended up at Zion, or Angel's Landing, but the idea is always to have the investment in a place to stay, plane tickets, being left on a mountaintop, because if you're not training and you go with a group, the group's not going to slow down for you. You'll be left behind, and that's not safe. It's not fun. So that's why it takes a little bit of planning. So I would say for the first week, and I'm not going to announce where in Colorado, but just keep it in mind if you're interested. Number one, get started on your training routine, and then we'll go through that in the next few weeks, but just commit. Number two, try to seek out a training partner. My suggestion is, because there's going to be a wide variety of different expertise and talents as it comes to going into Colorado. Some people will be fast, some people will be slow. The group will move in unison. So I was only kidding with leaving you behind, but if we partner up with somebody that can train with you, or that's the same speed and talent as far as level of fitness, in case you want to go slower or in case you want to go faster, you got your partner and you can separate safely. Again, safe hiking is always important for animals, for injury, and for weather. But it also, again, keeps you inspired to maintain your training routine. You know, if you have some accountability to a coach, you know that somebody's going to be barking in your ear and you got to impress them. I mean, you invest in coaches. Well, just shaking hands with a friend and saying, hey, you want to lose weight with me? You want to train for fall of 2017? That sometimes keeps you accountable. So the goals for week one are, number one, to commit to an endpoint. That's going to be the third week of October. I'll announce probably next month about where we're going and where we'll be staying. Number two would be having that 12 weeks, this next 12 weeks, broken up. You have to have some level of fitness. I'll tell you right now that the last week, the 12th week, you really have to be able to tolerate 10 miles and carry about 30 to 40 pounds in a backpack. I think doing that on flat surfaces like in Chicago would be more than enough for the short day hikes that we'll have in Colorado. We're not going to be hitting 10 miles in Colorado because usually elevation will make it a little bit of a harder challenge, so I'll try to pick short hikes. I don't think that we're going to camp and hike and camp and hike. I think that backpacking in the backwoods is probably a little difficult for beginners, so all we'll do is we'll pick a central hub and then we'll have day hikes. That'll take 3 to 6 hours and hopefully end up at a summit, be real cool, and then get back down for the next day. So again, training so that you can carry 30 to 40 pounds, training so that you can tolerate in Chicago or on flat land 10 miles carrying 30 to 40 pounds. I think that would be fine. So if you look at the Cook County Forest Preserve sites or McHenry or DuPage, you'll be able to come up with different forest preserves in the area. And if you click on the forest preserve map, it'll tell you about distance on some of their trails. It'll tell you the quality of the trail. Like this is pea gravel. It'll tell you whether it's pavement or grass. Just know your area, know the distance. Sometimes straight shoot from parking lots to endpoint will be, if there's no loop, that'll be fine as long as going back and forth gives you some mileage. We'll probably have goals hit in Illinois if you're going to join me every month, so that it'll be exciting. When you're with a group, it's usually exciting. I'll usually pick Starved Rock has a local go-to, which is fun and picturesque. And then Devil's Lake will probably be what we do in October, right before getting on the mountain in Colorado. The final thing would be also keeping aware of a buddy that you might have to hike with or train with. So being accountable to somebody, very important. If you can't find anybody, we'll see what happens, but at least maybe get a coach. And that's where prehabilitation might be necessary. We'll talk about that next week, but if you do have an injury or an ailment, I would say to make this worth your while, consider getting prehabilitation, an evaluation by a physical therapist through the insurance if your deductible is not so bad, and maybe they can look at your gait, look and see how your flexibility is and design a routine for you, or strengthen up your core with some exercises and a home improvement program so that you can tolerate the backpacks. You don't have to put on a backpack like me just yet, but again, at the end of 12 weeks, that's what we're going to have to be doing. It's always challenging to keep those goals or the sustainable change when you're not inspired. And again, whether you come with me or whether you're just watching our adventure as it unfolds, the next time that we have another 12 week to change will be the goal of this thing in 12 weeks. Whether you're coming with me or whether you're just watching us on YouTube, the goal of this ordeal is to just initiate change. Sometimes if you just get to that 12 weeks, you'll be really empowered to make another 12 weeks, get through the winter, and then come out the other end, maybe in 6 months or 12 weeks, whatever it is, with another challenge of your own, another goal of your own. And listen, the short-term goal is just to get to 12 weeks. For the average American, just making it to 12 weeks is a success. And when you're inspired by your own success, it keeps the fire going to make another change. And these short hops, these short summits, will eventually get you to the big summit. The big summit is hopefully getting off prescription medicines, getting to a point where you have some form of activity that you used to do, getting off prescription medicines, having a good weight, and having a level of fitness where you can take advantage of eating or indulging on the weekend, having a little sip of alcohol without having any guilt. And I think that's where my 40 to 50-year-olds sit, is that we get to the point where you can't have that hamburger because it'll flare up your gout, or you can't eat or have that drink because you'll get palpitations, or you're gonna get bloated the next day. We never thought about that when we were in our 20s, at least most people. And it's kind of disheartening when I hear people feel so down that they can't do those things that they used to do. I really think, no matter what, I don't think it's just a matter of, I don't think it's just a matter of aging or getting older. I think it's just what the body is a little bit intolerant to those things we should be tolerant to. Again, I would always hope that if the end point of our 12 weeks gets you to where you can stop medicines and you see the numbers like cholesterol, sugar, and weight go down, cool. If they haven't budged, that's okay. Wait for the next 12 weeks. But The destination is very important and it keeps you inspired, but the journey is just as fun and it's just as inspiring and it's just as rewarding. So see where this resonates with you. If you want to come on the journey with us, do it. If you've ever wanted to go on a journey, come with us.